Hello everyone, welcome to Game-Geki. It's time for more Silent Hill and our Silent Hill total playthrough of every Silent Hill game except for the iPhone one that we can't get. DDK, you ready to play a novel?
Let's rock the novel.
You ready to
We've
read
got
a bunch of shit?
amazing novel under our belt, such as that thing with the horror and the suicide.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
The
that
Literature Club game.
The
Ducky
Literature Club
Ducky.
game. That's pretty good as well. This is the Silent Hill variant of this. So it's the amazing Game Boy Advance audio quality. Plus cutscene quality, I guess.
Whoa. Did you beat up the PlayStation game again?
So the funny thing about this is that this isn't actually on Game Boy Advance. This is like some bizarre upscaled, I think, fan translation PC version. Which unfortunately for me is still the same size as the Game Boy Advance game, and I literally can't make it bigger. It's bigger for the people on the stream. It's bigger for DDK over Discord, but for me it's fucking tiny. So in that regard, then DDK is going to be reading this, and I'm going to be clicking through. Teamwork.
Yeah,
so,
makes the dream work.
So next like scenario, which is interesting. So they actually play civil technically. It says choose carefully your decisions. Choose carefully your decisions. Each scenario has multiple endings. So there's multiple endings to this. So I guess that implies some form of gameplay. I was a bit afraid that there'd be no gameplay in this.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, so I guess we'll go with Harry first. Play both scenarios, I suppose, at least once.
Silent Hill Book 1. Read. It's been a while since I've taken a vacation. I'm driving my Jeep. Well, heading towards the quiet resort town of Silent Hill. The sound of the engine reverberates in the darkness. Due to some slight car trouble earlier, it has become this late.
What? This is fan translation, I assume that's why it's a bit janky.
I am Harry Mason.
I am Harry Mason.
Just take a look at me.
Look.
I am a run-of-the-mill writer.
Man, does it even say in the original game that he's a writer?
See, amazing background detail.
I'm pretty sure in Silent Hill 3 it does.
Her eyes closed, Cheryl sleeps peacefully in the passenger seat.
I'm guessing the thing about the writer, like, it's probably like in the game manual, right? Describes the characters. Wouldn't surprise me.
Could, yeah. Cheryl's my daughter.
My God.
She's cheerful and lively, and the occasional carefree smile she shows me makes me feel happy. I don't have very much relationships with people because of what I do for a living. Yeah, writing is sure is a
yeah, it's a very antisocial job.
Cheryl's existence has become irreplaceable to me, but she hates my work. Cheryl was pretty much looking forward to this trip. Oh yeah, I bet she was. Although paved, this is still very much a mountain road. Was Silent Hill the destination? Or did he just end up there on the way?
It never says in the original game.
And you have an amazing resort town and all that, but still.
Yeah, I think it may have been a destination.
At this hour, there's very little reason for other drivers to be about, so there's no way I could possibly run off the road. I push on the accelerator. Yep, best to get there soon. There's no light off in the darkness. What? I can depend only on my headlights.
No, perfect type of ground conditions to accelerate.
Yep.
Past the limit. Woo. Oh.
Well. Light reflects off the rear view mirror. It's a motorcycle. There's a motorcycle headed towards the same destination as we are, at terrific speed at this late hour. With a roar, the motorcycle effortlessly passes by the side of my Jeep. Why'd you feel the need to come over and investigate in the middle of the night? A seal of the police.
Yeah, good point, actually. I guess we'll find out on the Sybil scenario.
Perhaps there's been an accident or something. Well, guess so. But I don't recall hearing about an accident or anything on the radio. What's that book say? Kawakadama. Cheryl is sleeping.
Oh.
The evil hasn't gotten into them yet. The child should not be awake at this hour. I wonder if she's dreaming about something. It's really interesting that it kind of word wraps in that way.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I've planned to take her to the amusement park. It could be the Silent Hill amusement park. Maybe she's dreaming about riding the merry-go-round. You see, you got to remember that America's a massive, massive place, and you have to drive miles just to get to even the most meager of amenities.
That's true, yeah.
I glance over at Cheryl's sleeping face and then return my eyes forward. The lit area of the road ahead appears to be bleached out from the darkness as if it moves towards me. Or belched out in the darkness. I wasn't sure if it was...
Like how you corrected that to lit, which is a little corrected and lighted area.
Aw. Something enters my field of view. It's the motorcycle from just before.
Yeah, that is in the intro, isn't it?
It just whisks by. It doesn't really mention it. It doesn't dwell on it, but it's there.
It's, yeah, you kind of just see it in a split second. It's very interesting. It's going into a bit more detail of the stuff you see very quickly, like almost subliminally in that intro.
Yeah, yeah. It's lying on its side on the shoulder of the road. No doubt about it. It's the same motorcycle that just passed me. There's no sign of the driver. And no sign of it being my problem. It looks like the driver smashed into the surface of the rocks on the side of the road whilst trying to avoid some kind of obstacle. And thus that pile of motorcycle has been destroyed. Yeah, it's a deer that runs out that gets him, isn't it?
No, it's...
Carefully check the way in which my vehicle is headed.
No, it's not a deer. I believe it's Alyssa, isn't it, who makes the car crash. It's like a ghost Alyssa pops out in front of the car and he swerves to avoid her.
However, I don't see anything that could be an obstacle to my advance in the area illuminated by the headlights. Well, it's going to show it in a second again. A strange atmosphere creeps in around me. Boom, boom. The radio reception begins to become erratic.
Huh? What's going on with that radio? Music.
There's a bit of...
Oh yeah, right, that sound in there.
Perhaps I should turn back. But my foot persistently pushes down the accelerator with no intention of letting off. Why is he speeding up more?
That radio sound, by the way, was not from the game, it was from our soundboard.
You can no longer turn back now.
Huh?
Something murmurs within me.
Damn.
Please increase your speed some more.
Very polite in the voice.
Someone murmurs within me. Cheryl's eyes are closed. She's dreaming. I know that I should be awake. But what is this uneasy feeling? I feel as if my body's not totally my own. It's like some strange being that is not me is controlling me, like I'm floating. My eyelids are heavy. Better speed faster to drive through the fatigue. As the steering wheel leaves my hand, it creates the illusion of setting the course on its own. Huh, it's alright then. Freezing cold. Uneasiness. Almost like being ready to fall asleep. I am just barely conscious and now at my limit to maintain even that.
There.
When I saw the human figure on the road, I cut the wheel hard, and then there was nowhere else for my Jeep and I to go, but down into the darkness below the cliff.
We fell off the cliff? Don't remember that.
Kind of off the side bank of the whatever the hell this is, highway. The silence pierces my ears, boom, boom, as the wind blew. It was accompanied by a piercing cold. Where am I? I can feel light faintly passing through my eyelids. I don't seem to be hurt. That much is clear to me because I don't feel any pain in my body. No, perhaps I've suffered an injury that doesn't cause any pain. It's bleeding internally. I slowly try opening my heavy eyelids.
No, she's not outside the car.
Did anyone get the number of that donkey cart? How the season's snow is pouring into the town. Other than the sound of droplets of ice hitting the ground, there's nothing else to be heard. Silent Hill. That is what is assuredly written on the sign by the side of the road. Without realizing it, Cheryl and I have reached our destination. All my memories up to this point are gone. The wind is blowing in.
Wait, what? All his memories up to this point are gone? I assume he means as of the crash, right?
I guess so. When I take a look next to me, I am shocked.
My drink! I spilled it!
The passenger door has been left open. Cheryl is nowhere to be seen. Silent Hill. This town, which should just be a resort area, appears to have become just like a ghost town for some reason. Or maybe it was waiting for us to arrive, or perhaps the town just nestled up to us. So now I am alone. Cheryl is not here. While I was sleeping, no, while I was knocked out, Cheryl opened the passenger door and stepped out, alone, into this tourist spot that is ruled by an unsettling silence. She said this, no, I can't find it. And then she left me to head somewhere. I was looking for Barry Burton saying, "Leave my monster!"
For sure, yeah.
I'll just go and get some fresh air and be eaten by a monster.
I tightly closed my jacket around my neck and set off on foot in search of Cheryl. No, not Cheryl Cole. I wonder what in the world happened to her, or happened here. Nothing makes any sense. The silence, the out-of-season snow. And strangest of all, the entire town is wrapped in a thick fog.
Nope. Cheryl's destination is... Is there no one in the town? These are very odd choices.
It's gonna set this amazing story ablaze.
Is there no one in the town? I guess I'll do this one.
Cheryl's destination is... I begin to run. Only the sounds of my footsteps echo in the surroundings. Just where in the world is Cheryl gone? Did someone lead her away? Various concerns run through my mind.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she is. Come here, Cheryl. I suddenly get the feeling that I heard footsteps other than my own. So I stop moving right away to check it out. Through the thick of the fog, I could see a figure that is about the size of a child. Cheryl? Without a thought, I cry out. The figure doesn't move at all.
It ran away.
Brainwashed. At the moment I begin to move slowly towards the figure, it starts to run. I fiercely chase after the figure. That's definitely Cheryl. Even though it is faint, I would not mistake someone else for Cheryl. However, no matter how much I run, I cannot catch up. I wonder why they felt the need to draw her towards the school. Instead of the figure is gradually getting farther away from me.
How does it get to the school again?
Well, he learns that she's gone to the school.
He found the drawings, doesn't he? Yeah.
I'm presuming that she's being led to some extent, just because why would she wander away from her dad?
I think she was taken like straight away, and then you only ever see Alyssa's ghost effectively. Remember, this is the part where he actually sees his daughter is only in the dream, right? He never actually sees her outside the dream.
The figure puts on speed as if it's gliding through the air. The figure appears to be absorbed by the fog as it begins to disappear. In order not to lose it, I run with all my strength while keeping my vision centered on the figure. I then notice that I've come into an alley surrounded by buildings.
If I recall correctly, Dahlia wanted Harry to do her bidding unwillingly. It's kind of like the same story as Resident Evil 8, ultimately, where Miranda wanted Ethan to kill the lords.
Oh yeah.
I guess therefore Dahlia needed Harry to be at the school. Maybe that's why,
someone pointed out a decent possibility on that. In that just maybe, Rose has got the same power as Evelyn, and that she aged fast.
I have heard that before. Yes,
Because that would work more.
It would make it would be a bit less annoying, and like as far as the overall plot goes. So I mean that Chris isn't like fucking 50 now.
If she was just 3 years old at that point, then it would fit with the.
Yeah, it's possible. I've heard that before. Yeah, I heard someone suggest why it might not be the case. I can't remember what the reason for that was now.
Ding, 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 ding. I don't know how, but it was like a cover was placed over the sky, which had proved light until now, and the air is becoming engulfed in darkness.
Oh no.
From the darkness, I can hear multiple footsteps coming this way.
I don't know who it is. I will take a look. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here because I know it's the horrible demon things that want to murder me.
Excellent, let's escape. I've got to get away. But I can't go back the way I came, because that eerie presence is back there. So I move further in. Camera rotates. I can only move gradually through the narrowing pitch-black alley by feeling around with my hands. Do you reckon it just skips straight to this bit if you go forwards? Like an adventure book where it just says go to page 6 and then page 6 just says go back to...
I wonder if it's like game over in this.
But I only end up reaching a dead end. There might be some bad end, seriously bad endings, as opposed to just the bad ending. Metal fences surround the area, and they're so high that I don't think I can climb over them.
No, this is where he dies.
They're coming from behind.
Amazing visual here, by the way. Just blackness.
Yeah. I stood ready.
Stand ready? You stood ready in past tense now?
What are they? I don't have him saying what the hell, but I have this.
What the hell?
Yeah.
With a beast-like rage, they've closed in right where I am. Stop changing tense. Ah! And then my vitality is sipped away by these strangest shaped monsters until I finally lose consciousness.
I'm screaming. There's literally no visual of the monsters or anything. Like a screenshot of that.
Sybil Bennett. She's a full-time police officer working in the neighbouring town of Brahms.
Oh, I mean, just black, eh?
There was no one else in the cafe other than her and Harry.
This visual novel isn't very visual right now.
She took a seat at the counter and waited for Harry to awaken.
I guess Harry's asleep, so maybe that's why it's black. There you go. Oh, amazing! Actual cutscene.
I suddenly awoke. Where is this place? Why am I here? Was I brought here by someone? There's no boundary between dream and reality, just confusion.
I'm just getting metaphysical.
As I lay on the bench seat in the cafe, my eyes slowly begin to focus. A woman sitting at the counter stands and folds her arms. She walks over and looks down at me. She's wearing a police uniform. Damn it, I've done it now. Reckless driving, huh? The woman smiles a bit as she appears to be relieved that I've regained consciousness.
You're under arrest.
Looks like you've come around. Who are you? I tried talking to the unfamiliar woman. I'm Sybil.
Oh, he said I'm Sybil. No, he's Harry.
Sybil Bennett. I'm here because all communication with this town suddenly went dead, and so I came to investigate in the middle of the night. I'm Harry Mason. I brought my daughter to this town for some sightseeing. But on the way, there was an accident, and I lost consciousness. Oh yeah, Sybil. You haven't seen a little girl in this town, have you? Short, black hair.
A little girl?
Little girl? What's that? No, I haven't seen her. When I came to after the accident, my daughter was nowhere to be seen. The passage door was open and she was gone. Cheryl. Sorry. My daughter's name is Cheryl. She's a timid person, so it's hard to imagine that she headed out in this weird town alone. Plus, I was there in the driver's seat. And since she gave me no warning, it just doesn't make sense.
Can I just press spacebar to skip these up? Okay, I don't have to constantly move back and cursor on the screen.
Whoa, you boosted.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this area? There's no sign of anyone and what's going on with that snow at this time of year. I mean, it's like May now. Just what in the world has happened in this town?
I wonder what town he is actually meant to be saying.
I said all this whilst breathing deeply. I'm afraid I don't know either. I still haven't seen anyone other than you.
I ain't got no clue, darling.
It's like the town is as silent as a graveyard without even the means to contact my neighboring towns.
Damn. It's like a hill with its sand.
It is. It's silent hills. I see. You also had an accident, right? In your pants. I thought it was a good idea to head to the police station in this town alone on my motorcycle, but I guess I was going a little too fast. And some crack policemanship you did there. Girl suddenly jumped out on the road.
So as they're explaining the original game, you see a crash motorbike, and then she's just there, but she never mentions it, which kind of insinuates that maybe she's been dead all along. She's like a ghost. But yeah, in this game, and I guess in this it just says that she crashed and got up.
Pretty sure it was the girl, so she crashed them both, and I
Apparently
almost
so,
hit
yeah.
her.
Why would she crash Sybil? Why shouldn't with Sybil?
I cut the handlebars hard in order to avoid her. After that, I could barely remember anything. When I came to, I was lying in the street in front of this cafe. Harry wouldn't have been able to survive without the spare gun she carries.
Maybe.
So naturally, I came in here to get out of the snow. Then I found you sleeping there. I was having some kind of a terrible dream. As if I made it here on my own. I don't remember at all. It's really weird that quoted stuff kind of just drops out.
Yeah.
Just what in the world has happened in this town? What is going on with everything? Well, the situation is definitely strange.
If I put the window.
I'll head back to Brahms for reinforcements and then return here. How about you? Sybil suddenly fixed her collar with resolute fortitude. I've got to look for Cheryl.
I've gotta find her.
There's no way I can just leave her here alone. What is it? There's a gun inside. I see. Well, I'll give you this then. Glock 5mm. You never know what might happen under these circumstances. If you feel threatened, then pull the trigger without hesitating. Why, have you seen a reason to threaten?
I hope I don't have to use it. Thank you, but I'm no good with guns. I mean, I guess I'll take it because you take the gun, right? I know this town's full of horrible monsters.
Pretty sure of yourself, huh? I've never handled a handgun before. I'm surprised at how heavy it is. But will you be alright? I have this. I'm not like the average girls around here. I've undergone proper training.
Right.
Sybil places a hand on the exit door, but then she turns and faces me again.
I have this.
Harry, don't go shooting me by mistake or anything.
Don't go blasting me by mistake.
I haven't had any training on how to stop bullets. Wear a thicker t-shirt, you'll be alright. She smiled after saying this and disappeared into the thick fog.
Goodbye. Got a gun.
What a piece. I suddenly took to it and was really good at guns. After being left alone in the cafe, I gazed at the handgun Sybil gave me for a little while. And then I thought about Cheryl, who had disappeared in this town.
Did she? Oh, I didn't know that.
The figure I saw in the fog. That was definitely Cheryl.
That was a dream, Harry. Come on now, calm down. You woke up. You died, remember?
No, yeah, true. But she didn't answer my calls, and she was quite possibly moving away from me, just like my ex-wife. I don't understand. I'm getting a bit mixed up. Still, the one thing I know for sure is that Cheryl has vanished in this town. All I can do is look for her. I may not have any knowledge of the surroundings or any clues, but I won't find Cheryl if I stay here. I stood up energetically and placed my hand on the cafe door. Something's making noise. Huh? Radio.
It's somewhere inside the cafe. It's somewhere outside the cafe. It's like a quiz to our knowledge of Silent Hill.
Yeah, seemingly so.
It's in the cafe.
I look around the cafe. I walk in the direction of the noise is coming from. And I pick up the source of the noise. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
Oh my god, what other thing? I can't even see what
The
it
window
is.
glass shattered with a thunder. A giant bird-like creature flew into the cafe.
Oh, 3D model of it. Amazing. Wow.
Animation. No, it's not a bird. It's a creature with reddish-brown skin that looks as if it's been burned.
Oh, right.
It's belligerent. In its belligerent, pale green eyes, it's clear that my life is in danger.
Relevant to the life they've been burned. Interesting. And move to the table. Ready the handgun in my inexperienced hand run outside the cafe. I mean, no, you're technically forced to fight the thing, so you can't leave the cafe without killing it. Damn!
I firmly held the handgun that I just received, pointed at the creature and pulled the trigger. I'm not used to using guns, so some of my shots hit the ceiling.
Man, this is going beyond my knowledge of the original Silent Hill game.
Where did you shoot when you
wings?
were playing? Those large wings. It uses them nimbly to maintain its balance in the air. If I destroy its wings, it won't be able to move. And I can finish it at my leisure.
Yep. Phew, it kicks it.
Stump. My one shot hits the wing, blasting a large hole in it. The creature loses altitude as it falls to the floor. I can't afford to waste bullets. I crush it with the thick sole on my shoe many times.
Yep.
And God, I sprung for the expensive shoes. As its strange cries die out, a dark red stain spreads out on the floor.
Blood. Hope it's not Chris's blood.
What have I done?
What the hell?
What the hell? This is not a dream. What's happening to this place? Oh, the sound of my fist hitting the table echoes in the cafe. At my feet, the still warm corpse of the creature lies there in the center of a pool of oddly coloured liquid.
She doesn't consider it blood. Weird. Kind of weird that she doesn't call it blood. I guess maybe it's not blood. Maybe it's censored for this bizarre thing.
Oh. Alright, it's censored purple, but I
Nope.
read this bit.
You're right. The game blatantly calls it. What do you say?
I thought you were waiting for me to read.
I am waiting for you.
I already read this bit. I'll reiterate.
Did you?
Oh, I'll say it again. I'll read it again. After leaving the cafe, I decided to first head towards the alley from before.
I mean, your audio cut. I didn't hear you read that part.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Black figures fly about in the heavens as if searching for prey. I then come to realize a constant. The static on the radio changes based on their movements. The closer the monsters come to me, the louder the static gets. My sight is hindered by the fog, and on top of that, the weather is so bad that snow is falling. So this is extremely important information. I run through the snow that appears to have no intention of stopping. It's not sticking now.
No.
Increasing my speed each time the static comes in on the radio, I proceed into the fog. Following the thin thread of my memory, I finally arrive at the alley from before. It's a good thing I knew where this bar was. The evil atmosphere is dissipating, and the light pours in along with snow from in between the buildings.
Wait, because you don't actually need to head here. You heading here in the original game just gives you like ammo, I believe. Oh no, actually no, am I wrong? Is this where you find the
Oh, is it where the book is?
the book is? Yeah, I think it might be the book is actually.
Moving to the alley and the dead end after it dead ends after a bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, right, yeah.
At the end of the alley, I see a familiar sketchbook that appears to have been thrown away. The likeness of me that Cheryl drew on the cover of the sketchbook. This is definitely Cheryl's.
School.
I try opening it.
He opened it. You see it in this trial.
Inside, the following is written in red ink. To school.
Oh.
She's at the school. Along Levin Street, I slip through the back door of a house that had a doghouse, and then head for the school.
Oh, skipped all the random running around town, eh? Okay.
The surroundings gradually fill in with darkness, and only the flashlight on my chest illuminates this strange street.
Straight to the school.
I pass through the entrance to the elementary school grounds. When I open the door that leads into the school building, I see that even more darkness is waiting for me inside. Is it possible that Cheryl scribbled those letters to school? I can't be sure whether Cheryl is here or not. It's just that I haven't a clue other than that sketchbook. The guide map of the school had been tacked to the sidewall of the entrance with a rusted thumbtack. After removing the map from the wall, I place it in my pocket and push open the heavy door that leads into the interior of the school building. My footsteps and the creaking of the hallway. They sound like screams as their reverberations rock my eardrums.
Damn.
I'd been walking carefully, step by step, but without realizing it, I'd begun to run. There's no sign of anyone. The silent innards of the school building are dark, with only the flashlight on my chest. It is impossible for me to see any of the details. Cheryl doesn't have a flashlight, so she came in here and got lost, and she probably wouldn't be able to walk around. Maybe she found her own.
Maybe.
Since I have my flashlight turned on, she should be able to notice me easily. At least I have that modest hope. I then notice that I've come to the entrance to the music room.
Oh.
I place my hand on the heavy door.
Danny's gonna have to do a puzzle that takes him like 2 hours to understand.
Oh, yeah.
Like weird. Well, there it is.
There it is. When I open the door, I see that the inside of the room is large and there's a grand piano placed in its center. As I sit on the chair of the piano, I'm shocked. Blood! The seat is still warm as if someone had been sitting here just a few minutes before. Cheryl's smile runs through the back of my mind. Cheryl often played the cheap, upright piano in our home. It had become nice background music when I was working. Perhaps Cheryl had come to the music room.
Oh my god, there it is! The puzzle! Oh no,
Cheryl's bloody fingerprints. I gently opened the cover of the piano keys.
we have to solve this puzzle again.
I noticed that there's red mixed in among the black and white. I tried touching the liquid. Pop, pop. It has a lukewarm feel, as if it's still holding heat. It's definitely blood.
Oh no!
My heart pounds in my chest like an alarm bell.
Blood. Hope this is not Chris's
A
blood.
large amount of blood spilled on the keys. If this is Cheryl's blood, then she may no longer be alive. Yeah, you're right. I wipe the stain off my hands onto my jeans, stand, and leave the music room.
What? Didn't solve the puzzle. Oh no.
At the same time I closed the door, I thought I heard someone scream. Maybe it was just my imagination. I got this scream. Probably the scream you heard.
That's British. I hate that I've done. I think it's maybe a bad imagination.
I walk down the hallway. A sleety mixture of snow pounds hard against the windows facing the courtyard. I take a look through the window down at the dark courtyard. The not so large courtyard is dotted with areas with withered plants are growing. In addition to that, an old clock tower is faintly visible. From here, I can't determine what time the clock is pointing to.
Nope.
Wait. Something appears to be wriggling about in the darkness.
Oh no.
An animal? No, it's dark and I can't see so well. But it's slowly moving on two legs. It appears to be searching for prey.
There are terrible demons. Ouch!
At the moment, the radio I had clipped to my chest suddenly began making noise. Prey must be its favorite computer game. As I returned my sight to the hallway, a sharp pain runs through my thigh.
What's the sensitive vision?
Damn it. When I look down, I see that the tips of those long claws are piercing my thigh.
Oh my god!
These oddly shaped monsters. They pose like they want to hug me, and they've gathered around my waist. They're about to bite me! I
instantly pushed the monster away with my hands, ready to hang on fire. I mean, is it already on me?
It sounds like it's already on you, but
Push it back with my hand, right?
that's what he does in the game. With my right hand, I push on its head part with force and knock it away. It then totters and falls down on its face. That was when I noticed I had been completely surrounded by those monsters. I readied the gun,
It's good anyway, so whatever.
fixed my aim on their heads and pulled the trigger with the trembling index finger.
Oh!
I continue to shoot each one of them as they appear.
Just put the gun to their head.
Smoke from the gunpowder began to fill the air around me, so I placed one hand over my mouth. Oh, cordite in the air! Even after the noise from the radio had stopped, I could only stand there, paralyzed in utter amazement among their corpses. Is Cheryl alright? She shouldn't have been carrying anything that could be used as a weapon.
What, the pen from a crayon from your
Yep, she's brained one of them with it.
Yeah.
I begin running. I can't just stand around. Is that ambulance in your...
yeah.
There's not a moment to lose. I thought it was like, damn, an ambulance.
Ambulance just casually driving by.
Cheryl is waiting for me. Wait a minute. Suddenly my vision became hazy or something, and I rubbed my eyes. When I look back, I see that all the bodies of the monsters have unexpectedly vanished. What?
They went through a loading screen and disappeared.
Was I hallucinating or something? I pulled the guide map out of my inner pocket and shined the flashlight on it. And then I confirmed that there was a boiler room located in the basement. My feet naturally began to take me there. Why?
It just feels like you need to go there. Ooh, Resident Evil loading screen.
I descend the stairs to the basement, taking one step at a time. Well, it's just like a proper novel, one step at a time. A school building without light. As I move forwards, I am beset on all sides by absolute darkness. As I head towards new fear and new enemies, my feet have no intention of stopping their advance. But oddly enough, I don't have a sense of justice.
What?
I just want to make sure that Cheryl is safe and catch her in my arms. That's my only goal.
Oh, well.
There it is, the old generator. Boiler is not running.
Try and close the window.
I simply press the switch in front of me, and this airy machine should begin operating. However, I just stand still. I try pushing the switch, but the boiler doesn't do anything at all.
Damn.
So I try opening the switchboard cover below the switch. It appears that I must somehow supply power from the main power supply to the boiler. Power supply is on the right. From the left of the switchboard, a thick pipe extends out and is connected to the boiler.
This is an original game, is it? So, power. Wait, what? This is an original game?
He's solving this puzzle for you.
Wait, am I. What is this, like a cut puzzle or something?
Got it! I have an instinctive feeling that by pushing this switch, something outrageous may happen. Although, at the same time, I also noticed my daughter Charlotte's scream run through my heart, like a sense of duty that makes me feel that I must push the switch. I slowly push the switch in. The entire school building shudders as if it were a giant ship. The entire elementary school building appears as if it's being swallowed by Cheryl's heart. As she stands alone in the darkness, I understand that I must do something. To the courtyard. The darkness softly whispers to me.
Oh, right. Oh, nice.
Guess I'll do that then.
Cocktail. Did you find a bit of amulets though?
The clock tower looks to be about tall enough to reach the third floor of the school. At its base, there's a small door about big enough for an adult to enter while bent down. The door solemnly opened. After opening, the door seems to beckon the one standing in front of it to enter with an irresistible mental energy. Cannot resist that power. Cheryl must have solved the puzzle. As I enter, the door closes with a hopeless thunder.
There it is, the hopeless thunder. We heard it.
Oh, it's pretty hopeless. Inside the clock tower, physiologically, a loathsome stench hung in the air. However, the smile of my beloved daughter in my heart lessens my uneasiness. She must be in here.
Really obsessed with his daughter.
And lets me forget my fear, if even for only a moment.
Come on, she's lost. She's lost. Just let her go.
Reassured, I placed my foot on the ladder leading underground, where my greatest motive, called love.
Oh my god.
The inside finally became a small passage about large enough for an adult. I ran. Trusting that I will see a smile ahead, I run forward, stomping on concrete, stained with the smell of death. Once I climb the ladder at the end of the tunnel, there'll be no going back. I mutter Cheryl's name one more time. Cheryl. The depressing sound of the door closing echoes throughout the courtyard. Where am I? A raw, warm breeze brushes past my cheeks. The view lets me know that this is like a completely different world from the school I was just in. Yeah, it looks it. Once again, I think, where am I?
Just reuse the asset. Oh, wait, there you go.
I descend the small stairs leading away from the clock tower and become even more convinced. Vandals. An extremely religious-looking design has been drawn into the centre of the courtyard.
That does look extremely religious.
Pretty religious. Within a large double circle, a triangle has been placed, and within that, a strange pattern. An ankh. It looks like a hieroglyph is drawn. I don't remember this being here before. But I didn't really look at the floor before, I mutter. This is definitely the school I was just in. The placement of the trees and the construction of the building. However, an overpowering feeling of nausea rises up throughout my body. A revolting, horrible smell, like that of the stench of cutting into rotten meat, thickly wafts through the air and is nearly visible to the eye.
Terrible.
I begin to run.
Likes to run a lot.
I can no longer bear to stay in this spot. By the time I place my hands on the door that leads inside the school building, I no longer have the strength left to tell how long I was running. What? Maybe it was only for an instant?
It's the Dark World School.
School building has dramatically changed. Metal grated floors. Blood-covered walls.
What's liquid?
Corpse-like puppets hanging everywhere. It's like a nightmarish scene in which everything is isolated from the real world. In spite of that, I run. I'm searching for Cheryl.
Well, I guess in the game you pretty much always run as well, right? You never walk.
Sure. The unpleasant metallic sounds of my footsteps resonate throughout the inside of the school. Brr, 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 brr.
On the fence.
And then I open the door to the teacher's room.
I can't remember if that's in the teacher room. I think it is.
Perhaps the door is not installed correctly, as it took me several forceful tries to force it open. Once I enter the room, I'm shocked. I am shocked.
I am shocked. 3 phones.
Desks are strewn about, and a raw, rotten stench rules the room.
What the hell?
Call home where no one should be. What?
No fuck. What would even be the point of any of these? Things don't work either way.
Alright.
Call home. Where no one should be. That doesn't work anyway, whatever.
Without knowing why, I dial my home number, where no one should be. Maybe there's a chance Cheryl has already returned home?
Yeah, through
How?
over the motorway, she got in the car, drove.
Drove all day. With slight hope, the phone's ringing. The mechanical electrical sound repeats over and over. And all of a sudden, it stopped.
We didn't answer.
Hello? The voice of a man I do not know escapes from the receiver. Hello? Who is this? From the receiver, I hear a gasp. Ah! The phone went dead.
Did that happen in the original game?
I stood bewildered for a bit, with the receiver pressed against my ear. There's a man in my house where no one should be. A man I don't know. I gently hang up the receiver, and for a bit, I'm captivated by that blue telephone.
Weird.
I begin to leave the room.
Oh, right, here's the, with bonus scene, I guess, though.
My heart rapidly contracts.
With bonus scene, I called it home for some reason. Odd.
Yeah. The mechanical bell sound echoes throughout the room. I nervously approach the telephone and once again pick up the receiver.
Daddy!
Help me! It's Cheryl! There's no mistaking it. I firmly press the receiver against my ear. Where are you, girl? Daddy, where are you? Cheryl? Is this Cheryl?
Well, he was pretty sure a second ago. Let's make sure.
At that moment, Cheryl's voice is replaced with a busy signal. Damn it. She's on the other line. I knew it, I think. Cheryl is here. Well, calling from the other classroom.
It's calling from the phone right next to us.
Being located in the residential area, many children probably come to this school. The interior of the elementary school is larger than I imagined. I mean, it's a pretty good place for a school, as opposed to not a residential area. Including classrooms, there's a lot of room, so locating Cheryl will be extremely difficult. If Cheryl wasn't brought here by someone and instead came here of her own free will, then perhaps she might be in that one room.
We should put the school in the industrial area.
Yeah, near the factories. I spin round, run to the stairs at the end of the hall, and then sprint up them. I do a bit of back and forth as I solve my way past a few doors. I came to the library and my eyes are drawn to the open book here. It was...
What was a book?
a children's book. A pharmaceutical book. A dictionary of religious science.
I can't remember anymore. What was it in the game?
Ah, come on, I can't remember that.
I can't remember the book. In the library, right? Wasn't it a pharmaceutical book?
That rings a bell. I mean, there were pharmaceutical books in nowhere. I remember that much, but...
or maybe it was, what book would it be? Oh, no, actually, no, it was the fairy tale, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, the poem, yeah.
Yeah, it was the poem.
Solve the boss.
Yes, the boss one, the guy, the arrow, the hunter shoots in the mouth.
I pick up the book and see an abstract illustration of a youth carrying a bow and arrow.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Someone has been reading this book. I begin to read the book from the beginning of the page it was left open to in a quiet voice. Hearing this, the hunter armed with the bow and arrow said, "I will kill the lizard." But upon meeting his opponent, he held back, taunting. "Who's afraid of a reptile?" At this, the furious lizard hissed. "I'll swallow you up in a single bite." And the huge creature attacked, jaws open wide. This was what the man wanted. Calmly drawing his bow, he shot into the lizard's gaping maw. Effortlessly, the arrow flew, piercing the defenseless mouth. Oh, there's a swap that way.
Oh, that time.
Tried to be clever. And the lizard fell down dead. Brown bread. This is from an old fairy tale.
Yeah.
I remember reading it as a kid. As I say this, I take a step back as if I've realized something. Wait, I think... I become gripped with the sense that my actions have been controlled by someone this entire time.
What?
Coming to the library, seeing that specific page in the open book.
Wait a minute. Am I a character in a video game?
Holy sh... Even whatever it is that I must do now, it's a decision that is out of my hands. Everything that's happened has been in someone's hands. I've gradually come to understand this. Even still, I probably cannot determine my own course. I accept the direction of this unseen one, to whom I must obey. In order to find Cheryl, there is no other alternative. I now know where it is I need to go. As I journey there, I walk firmly, stepping forward one step at a time. I descend a staircase from which uncomfortably warm air flows and find an elevator at its base that invites me to descend even further as the doors slowly open. Once I enter, its doors close, and in the next moment, with a rusty clunk sound, the elevator begins to descend at a high rate of speed. Just how far down is it going? Oh, you already know you needed to go here, so all I can do is go with the flow.
Go with the flow, man. Yeah, just with flow.
Gradually, the elevator and I are enveloped in hot, humid air. The elevator stops, and I step off as the doors open. Beyond the short passage, a dazzling light emitted from a small room. A small room which has been waiting for my arrival.
There it is.
In the center, the fires of hell burned, and everything made it look like the room was meant for prayer. And then, it was there. It slowly moved around the enormous sconce in which the flames and ash rose. The lizard looks to have suddenly mutated. Its outer shell is mucous membrane type. It just stares at me, and with surprisingly comfortable speed, it looks for a chance to attack. Here!
Running is the best bet. I mean, I ran around quite a bit.
Yeah. I was overwhelmed by its size. I've got to escape.
Oh,
I don't stand a chance with this feeble weapon in my pocket. I look for an escape route. However, the entrance I came through is now closed by a thick, solid metal fence without any openings which I could slide through. I cannot escape. At that moment, a part of my memory was suddenly awakened. Definitely.
in the library, right?
Yeah. If I remember, that book I just picked up not too long ago. Its contents run about in my head. While paying very close attention to the movements of my opponent, I recall its passages. Effortlessly, the arrow flew piercing the defenseless maw, and the lizard fell down dead. All I can do is draw my opponent closer. Each bullet that hits its body only seems to increase its strength.
Oh, really?
I'm running. My entire body is soaked in sweat. It's hot in here. The heat from the flames and the large amount of perspiration are working together to rob me of my emotional strength. Oh, my emotional strength! And then my feet finally get tangled, and I fall to the bone-dry floor with a thud. Oh no! It's going to devour me whole! My supply of bullets is running out. This is my limit. I turn around. Its enormous mouth is there, measuring about 4 meters and open in all directions. It was only for an instant, but I thought of the passage again. The arrow flew piercing the defenseless maw. Oh yeah.
I shot him in the leg. Whoops. Okay.
I don't have any arrows.
Wait, fuck, it's legs, yes, it's legs. No, wait, it's more.
Ooh, I can no longer hesitate. I readied the gun as calmly as possible, aimed at the inside of its mouth and, pow, quickly pulled the trigger. Over and over, the sound of gunshots rang out from my weapon. For as long as I had ammunition. And then I lost consciousness. The last thing I remember feeling was the boiling sensation of being eaten. When I came to, I found myself in the middle of a dark room. Where is this? I wondered to myself. The monster from before had vanished. I heavily stood up and then waited motionless for a bit till my eyes came into focus. Somehow this looks to be the boiler room. It's oddly quiet. Maybe I was dreaming. The stream hasn't caught up to the disconnection just yet.
Okay, it seems we've reconnected now.
My very exhausted body seems to have also recovered somehow. I just repeat that just in case.
Yeah, so, yeah, sorry, we lost connection for a second. I was doing what happened again. Continuing.
The low hum of the boilers strangely calms my nerves. Good old boilers.
Yeah.
And I sense the presence of a person, and I shift my gaze.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Well, that's a...
There was a girl standing there. She was wearing dark blue clothing, and her light brown hair was neatly combed. The girl was just staring straight at me. Once I noticed her and began to step towards her, she completely disappeared, as if her body just dissolved into the air in the room. I was alone in the room again. What was that? After standing for a bit, I let out a long fart breath and then placed my hand on the door at the entrance.
The bell.
Sunlight is shining in the hall of the school building. As usual, the snow is still outside, but I'm gripped with a strange feeling of relief. As if cancerous cells had just been removed from me.
Okay.
Filled with relief, I slowly walk towards the exit of the school building. And then I learn that Cheryl is not here. How'd you learn that? From the loud sound of the church bells that seemed to call out to me. Church. She's at the church. I begin to run towards the church on a road half covered in mud. Snow falls above my head, some of which freezes my hair as chilly air flows by. When I reach the church, I push open the heavy door without hesitation. The game had crashed, so I reloaded.
Oh my god, yeah.
A cross is mounted on the front wall with it. It only happened in that one or two places. Long benches are lined up on both sides of a small walkway. It was as if this time had stopped for the familiar style church. In front of the altar, a sly-looking woman with cold eyes looks down at me with an eerie grin. I'm Dahlia Gillespie, remember me, Dahlia Gillespie. As I walked up to her, stepping one step at a time, she gazed at me without blinking. She looked as if she had predicted that I would arrive. Were you ringing that bell? The woman snorted with a humph. I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy.
You should just say that, yeah.
What are you talking about? Gyromite? I knew you'd come. You want the girl, right?
Whoa, accusing me of.
The girl? You're talking about Cheryl?
Oh, my daughter, right.
Yeah, my eyes grew wide. I don't want to do that to my daughter. Oh, all right, yeah, right, I see what you mean. I see everything. You know something? Tell me. Stay back. The woman held the palm of her hand out at me and then lowered her chin in a way that suggested, please calm down. Nothing is to be gained by floundering about at random. You must follow the path. The path of the hermit concealed by Flauros. What? What are you talking about? I asked once more without hiding my bewilderment. Here, the Flauros, a cage of peace. It can break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld. These will help you. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late. The woman held up a strange object and softly placed it on the desk on top of the altar. Wait, don't go yet. Didn't she say make haste for the other church? Her story is unclear and I don't understand it.
Well, no, you should just go to the hospital.
I will.
I mean, what was her story? To go to the hospital? I mean,
Go to the hospital.
kind of constantly bleeds her throughout the game.
Pretty much. She lives here. I choose to believe her story without objection. All that remains in the church is the reverberation and the sound of the door closing. I go after that woman. I'm convinced that the woman definitely knows the secret of some sort.
Yeah.
However, the knob on the door that she went through will not turn at all.
Damn. Door's jammed.
It must be locked from the other side. Damn! Now I'm the only one left in the church. Almost as if taken from a nightmare, this space has heat. It's warmth. It feels like it's protecting me from something. It's the best way to describe the heat. No one escapes it. I moved away from the door and began walking to the altar that woman was at. The object the woman was just holding had been placed there. The
Yes.
Flauros. But more importantly, a key.
Okay.
The Flauros. That's certainly what the woman had called this. I tried picking it up. And then I placed it back on top of the desk right away. Oof! Hot! It is power!
It is power!
The overwhelming power of the gods rests inside the four-sided object.
What?
It was a sensation like an electrical current passing through the palm of my hand. And then power moving throughout every nook and cranny in my body.
Didn't happen in the game. Just picked it up, put it in his pocket.
Pick it up once more. This time I calmly take it into my hand and place it in my pocket. For some reason, I'm convinced that this object will help me find Cheryl. I pick up the key that was next to the flower and open the door of the church. I rush out into the heatless snow world again. Hospital. She's at the hospital. That woman certainly said something about one. Alchemelia Hospital. The only hospital I could find on the map was that one, though it wasn't on the map that I had. It was on a separate map, but whatever.
Across the
I
bridge.
could see my breath as I exhaled whilst I headed towards the entertainment district.
Well, so there it is, the bridge.
The bridge to the entertainment district had been raised so that the boats could pass by it in the rivers below. In other words, it's split in the middle and is fixed in a raised position that makes it look like a Japanese katakana character. This one in particular.
Yeah, that one particularly knows them, of course.
I entered the nearby drawbridge control room, placed the key I was holding into the control panel.
The game then crashed. And I had to lower the details that were working.
Damn! I switched myself from widescreen into non-widescreen fruitlessly to try and free myself and forcefully turn it to the right. While emitting a sound like an old woman laughing, the bridge finally began to lower, inviting me to the entertainment district. After crossing the bridge, I shudder. Damn it, these guys are sick. This is what they have for entertainment around here? The temperature is gradually declining. Or maybe it's just the result of the thing inside me that produces nervousness and fear. On this wide road, there's not a single motorcycle running.
What?
I'm running right down the centre of it.
Motorcycle?
Yeah, when I go to the shop, I don't see a single motorcycle running. A lot of traffic, but no motorcycle. If I continue forwards, Alchemia Hospital should be on the right.
It is, on the right.
An old building appears in the thick fog. On the signboard, Alchemia appears in faded letters. Its eeriness causes me to hesitate for an instant, but in the next moment I place my hand on the cold gate. Shit, 2 dogs in here. I open the heavy hospital gate, and I open the door directly on my right. There's entrance written on it.
Go run, quick, the dogs! I run into the room before the dogs can get me.
The inside of the hospital is wrapped in silence. To the left is a reception area in which various papers are neatly placed on a shelf. Waiting benches are lined up on the back of this hall, and a television is pointed at them. It looks like it was from the 90s, but this is the 80s. I do not feel the presence of any patients, or even any people.
I know you're free.
Only faint light pouring through the windows from the cloudy sky. The hall is filled with a trace scent of alcohol which penetrates my nose. I begin walking. After passing through the waiting room, I reach a long corridor. I open the door marked examination room.
Oh.
At almost the exact time I open it, the door, a man inside jumped up out of his chair. He'd been examining alcohol. He is holding a handgun in his right hand. Die! Don't shoot! I'm a human!
Hide behind the door and panic, right? You don't shoot him.
Yeah, seems right. Wait!
Wait! Don't shoot! I'm a human!
Sorry about that, babe. I hold my right hand out to try and stop the man. Hold it! Stop! Hold it, stop.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Hold it, stop. Yeah.
Don't shoot! Wait, I'm not here to fight. Oh. The man calms down, lowers his readied right arm.
Ooh. Sorry about that, babe. I thought you were one of them.
My name is Harry Mason. I'm in town on vacation. I said all this without pausing, and then the man took a deep breath and began to speak. Thank God, another human being. Do you work here? I was truly relieved. Silent Hill, which had become a habitat for strange monsters. His words showed his candid questioning of the situation. I'm Dr. Michael Kaufman. I work at this hospital. So maybe you can tell me what's going on. I'm not sure who said that.
No, never mind.
The man who calls him Kaufman once again stirs in his chair he's sitting in. I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared. And it's snowing out this time of year. Blood. He looks at the floor of the examination room. There on the floor, the corpse of the still warm monster lay on its side. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you see those monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist. Yeah. And then I turned to face him as I realized something. Have you seen a little girl anywhere? Short black hair? I'm looking for my daughter. She's only 7. Short black hair. She's missing? I'm sorry. But with all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's... Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you? Is she hot? She died 4 years ago. Now it's just me and my daughter. I see. I'm sorry. Well, I'd better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing. So long. Good luck out there.
What an asshole.
Examination room door shuts powerlessly. Dr. Michael Kaufman. Oddly enough, I've completely memorized that name. Huh? I suddenly notice that there's something on the floor that looks like a white scrap of paper. What is this?
Might be a white scrap of paper.
I pick it up. Letters have been disorderly scribbled on it. Arrival tomorrow morning. Be prepared. What is this? I check if there's anything else. I carefully look around on the floor, but it doesn't appear that anything else interesting has been dropped. I look all around the examination room. Up until a short time ago, this was just a normal room in a hospital, with its various instruments and tools all about, each aptly arranged per function. Only people have been erased from this normal scene, making the situation unnatural. I leave the examination room. I pass through the medicine room and reach a planked floor corridor that silently extends in an L-shaped. I moved forward and found that there was an elevator with a large door at the end of the corridor. I try pressing the buttons beside it. Nothing happens. Looks like the power's off again. There are several doors in the corridor. I begin opening each one in order. Damn it, locked, jammed.
Where's it coming from?
I open the door, marked meeting room, head inside, and close the door behind me. A large table rests in the center of this room, and I notice that there is something glittering on top of it. I grasp the light green key, leave the room, and once again step into the chilly corridor. The next room looks to be the kitchen. I guess that the food the patients is probably prepared here. Various bronze cooking utensils are neatly arranged in order on the stainless steel countertop. It does not appear that anything terribly important is here. I carefully look through the various cooking utensils. Inside a large pot there is nothing at all.
Damn! Jack and shit.
Continuing, Jack and shit went up the hill. While continuing to search to see if there might be some clue here or not, I noticed that on the far wall various objects have been scattered about. I carefully move forward on the wet floors so as not to slip. Something is there. I reach out my hand towards the thing in front of me.
Pass the ball.
Better take that. I move past one of the sinks and notice an empty plastic bottle sitting on the end of the counter. Perhaps this might come in handy for something. I mutter this and grab the empty plastic bottle. And then leave the kitchen. After leaving the kitchen, I head right and place my hand on the first door I come to. I notice the words Director's Office out of the corner of my eyes as I open the door. From inside the room, a strong stench overflows outwards, causing me to feel dizzy. Someone has ransacked the room. Behind the desk that probably belongs to the director, several bottles have been broken, leaving red and blue liquid spilled all over the floor.
Blue?
I used the plastic bottle. Damn, I didn't pick it up. Oh well, I guess I can't go and get it.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Huh.
We want the red one normally.
Yeah, it's normally red. I get out the plastic bottle and use a fragment of the bottle section of one of the broken bottles to pour the vermilion liquid into it. The sickly liquid drops into the plastic bottle. The last drop lingered, but once it finally hit the surface of the liquid, already inside the plastic bottle, I tightly closed the cap and left the director's office. Who knows if we've got the right that? Don't know what the game's going for there.
Originally, it's red, right?
Yeah. I crept out of the corridor once more and stood in front of the door that was closest to the elevator.
Game's just throwing us some random wrong choices, I guess.
Yes, possibly. I opened the door, and then reverberations of the sound of it opening and then closing shake my eardrums. The walls are made of concrete. And a few steps and a staircase leading to the basement extend like the folds inside the body of a snake. It's dark and difficult to see, but it looks like there's a door at the bottom of the stairs. Be brave, I muttered to myself. Leaving only the echoes of my footsteps, I descend the staircase to hell one step at a time. And then I open the door leading to the darkness. A bit by my heart. A world without light. I could see that the electricity was most likely out in the entire hospital. I pressed the switch on the flashlight on my chest and tried lighting the area. It's creepy, and yet there is nothing noticeably out of place. Chilly air drifts from the cold concrete, and it seems as if touching it would completely rob my body of its warmth. While moving through the corridor, I try opening the doors as I come to them. One of them opens with a creak. Emergency generator is written on the machine that occupies most of the room. It's quite a unit. To reach the second floor and above it, did not look like there was any other method other than using the elevator. So without hesitation, I turned the machine on. I immediately head for the elevator, who would lock the fire doors to the stairs. What monsters! I press the up button. The heavy sound of the motor and the sound of the metal parts coming into contact with each other almost sound like intertwined screams. With a ding, the elevator stops and its doors slowly open.
No, 4th floor's not there.
The inside of the elevator is large. It seems to be about big enough to accept 3 hospital beds. Buttons for each floor are lined up to the right of the elevator door. They marked 1, 2, 3, and B from the top down. First, I head to the second floor. However, if I stepped off the elevator, after I step off the elevator, I find that the door connected to the corridor that leads to the rooms on this floor is locked.
Damn.
With no alternative, I try heading to the 3rd floor, but find this is in the same state. Well, what now? I've already tried moving to every floor, somewhat abridged variation of our experience. With nothing else to do, I re-entered the elevator and then could not believe my eyes. Oh no!
This is literally what we experienced.
Yep, 3 was definitely the highest floor just before. In spite of that, a new 4 button has been added. The elevator doors open with a familiar sound and I step out onto the 4th floor. Again, I think. A condition extremely similar to which I encountered after passing through the basement and the clock tower at the elementary school was present right in front of me. Dark red rusted walls, metal grated floors. The ringing in my ears that seemed to creep up from the depths of hell is a menace to my mental state. I open the door in front of me and a long corridor extends beyond it. I very carefully moved forwards whilst keeping my eyes fixed on the wall. Could Cheryl be here? The only way to find out is to search this place. Oh my god.
The radio.
Huh? I can hear something in the darkness in front of me. It sounds like the groan of something dragging on the ground. The owner of that groan is slowly closing on me, but I cannot see what it is for sure with the faint light of my flashlight. I instantly.
Where's my gun, right? I shot all the things. Where's my gun?
Immediately the enemy to death. It's probably not human. I firmly grip the gun, position my fingers on the trigger, and begin to walk towards it with the gun ready beside my face. And then I remembered I'd spent all my ammo.
Oh, what
before.
the? Oh, it's a lot more monstrous in the intro game.
Something white enters my field of vision. I adjust the aim of my flashlight on the chest with my hand and shine light on it. A white figure appeared, which is stooped over like an old woman. It looked to have undergone a grotesque change.
Why it looks so different for?
The monster has a very large hump on its back, which twitches and moves as if it were alive. In one hand it holds a knife, which it waves as it approaches me. In an instant I readied my gun and the monster began to run. By the time I realised this, it slashed at me. My jugular! I instantly dodged the attack, and thanks to that my clothes were slashed and I only had a scratch on my side. I suppose I was lucky, although the tetanus. Damn! I kick it in the face with the bottom of my shoe and it falls down on its back. It then begins to stand for its next attack. I close my left eye and steady my aim. Lock on. Even after one shot hit, its movement does not change at all. I fire more bullets at it. It's laughing. In a voice great enough to shake the entire world, it laughs as its face twists and distorts. Oh! I cannot give up. When the final bullet loaded into my gun hits it, it finally stops laughing. I'm not laughing now. This time, it is face down when I begin crushing it with my foot. I derive a sexual pleasure from this. Finally, it completely stops moving. This is insane! Another monster approaches from behind the corpse of the first one. At this rate, all the bullets in the world would not be enough. All I can do is run.
This is very random. That's the monster behind and what? In front, right? I guess I'm going forward.
We'll see. I begin to run towards the monster in front of me. Evading the large swings of its knife, I run down the dark corridor, occasionally stumbling. I see a staircase leading down. I race down it, knowing not whether something is waiting for me or not at its base. The stairs aren't otherworldly. I'm thinking about Cheryl. Even if she's held prisoner somewhere in this hospital, there's no guarantee that I can rescue her. In fact, there's no reason that the staircase I am descending should lead me to Cheryl. Oh, there she is. I begin to think that all my current actions are just meaningless. However, generally speaking, since I arrived in Silent Hill, no, since the day before leaving for Silent Hill, no, even longer ago, since the day I met Cheryl, perhaps I have no choice in my actions, that they have been determined by someone's will. As I continue to the base of the stairs, I contemplate, what if my life, up to this point, had just been on one track? As I descend the stairs, my ears begin ringing again. The ringing is so forceful that it cannot even be compared to before, and it forces me to squat down. What in the world has happened? Perhaps I've opened a door to hell, a door that should never be opened. Something is clearly changing, and it is for the worse. Going back will not be permitted. I must move forwards. Forwards! I put my hands together on my head, and then squeeze my temples tightly by using my elbows. The ringing then begins to sound like a demon whispering in my ears. However, it doesn't stop. I blindly begin to run.
In the stairs. Ooh.
Even if I aim to die in this mad land, I must save my beloved Cheryl first. Believing that the answers are beyond the door, I know that I must discover at least one clue. Bet you do. Several overlapping square figures are shaking in time with the sound of my heart. It's the wall at the end of the area. Another wall lies perpendicular to it. There's a door present on this wall with a plate on it that says storehouse. Some chemicals have been placed on the table that is next to the door. There are 3 beakers of different sizes and a test tube. The test tube contains a liquid that is of a different colour to that which is in the leftmost beaker. I found a memo. To create it, you must come up with 1 deciliter of liquid and pour it into the test tube.
This isn't in the original game.
No more, no less, that man had said. But there are no graduations on the beakers. This makes it impossible to come up with 1 deciliter using just 3 large beakers. Using the 10 deciliter, 7 deciliter, and 5 deciliter beakers, you must create an amount of exactly 1 deciliter.
Okay. Wait. It's 10, 7, 5. What?
The door won't budge an inch. There it is.
I meant to.
No, it's very odd that they seem like there are puzzles in this game, but they're not.
Just like a puzzle.
Or you do.
Game, or I'm not doing anything. No.
Oh, so that's how you've done it.
Got it. How weird.
My chemistry lessons are paying off. Harry melted the chain of the door with the completed liquid. 2 deciliters would have just not been enough to melt it. The door slowly opens with a click.
I'm really confused. Is that like a cut puzzle from the original game, or did we not get a puzzle because play on easy mode? I don't get it.
Inside the storehouse, nothing important looking stands out. A carefully edged between the simple metal shelves that have been placed here in a specific arrangement. However, nothing is here that makes this room worthy of being called a storehouse. Aww. I'm drawn towards the cabinet in the back of this room. This is because I found the presence of a wooden cabinet strange and unsuitable for this simple room. I approach the cabinet, try to open it, however, it will not budge. Well.
I will look at the floor under the cabinet. I will look inside the cabinet. I'll look on top of it. It's what you can push, right? So I look at the floor.
Yeah, give it a go.
Can't remember.
If there's an important clue inside the cabinet, then I should be able to open it right away. But then, I gradually come to understand that there is no need to do so. The necessity of the cabinet here is thin, as anything could be used to satisfy the requirement. If something is needed to block my path, then a bunch of stones could work just as well. I thought this as I looked at the scratches on the floor that were the same width as the cabinet. The marks on the floor are still fresh. They tell me that some other human probably came down here. Is there something beyond this cabinet? Using my body weight, I slowly push the cabinet from its original position. The existence of the inviting door behind the cabinet seems completely natural. So of course I place my hand on it. The room is very inorganic.
Yes, the grating.
While shining my flashlight about, I move through the room and eventually discover a grate in the floor. From between the bars of the grate, I can see a staircase that leads to a lower floor. The grate makes a clunk sound as I open it. It just opens. It's quite heavy. Even though I'm sure of my strength, I do not believe that I could pick it up. After opening the grate enough so that I could pass through it, I gently placed one foot on the staircase that had appeared.
You didn't need to pour the liquid on it. He said to kill the plants. No, set fire to it. That was it. No, set fire to it, don't you?
He's just strong enough.
Yeah.
Oh, slowly and cautiously. Confirming each step as I go, I descend the staircase to a mad place in which light cannot reach. Finally, I reach a wide room, much wider than I imagined. I guess this is based on the echoes of my footsteps. I'm running through the series space that lies in the basement of the hospital. It's a lifeless, and there is no light. All I could do is run through it. Does this world have an end? Or did it even have a beginning? Everywhere I go, all that I do is solve the mysteries that appear one after the other, and then move on. I understand this, and expect that the same situation will continue. Still, all I can do is move forwards. My thinking always results in this conclusion. This door has awaited me. I slowly turn the knob. The inside of this room is different from the ones I've encountered up to this point. I can feel life in here. There are traces and a sense that someone was in this room. I softly pick up the picture frame that was displayed on the desk. Alessa. That's engraved on the picture frame. I gaze at the picture. It's a face that I think I've seen somewhere. I try to remember where as hard as I can, but in the end I cannot remember at all. But I'm sure that I have met this girl somewhere. And more than just once. The diary has been placed next to the picture frame. I reach out with my hand. Pick up the diary, or pick up the picture.
I'm sure you never pick up the picture in the game, you just look at it, don't you?
Yeah.
Diary of the Moose.
Seems... Something's written in the diary. April 15. From today, this will be my new diary. Lisa secretly gave this to me as a present.
Isn't in the game, I don't think.
And it means that I soon should be able to take my bandages off. A bird landed on the branch of a tree outside my window. I gazed at it for a bit, worried that it would hang around and start roosting. Fuck off, you stupid bird! Seeing these beautiful colours, I thought again that it must be spring. I wish I could play outside like the other children. It is now afternoon, and they have come again. I pretended to be asleep, and it looks like they did not notice. He talked quietly as not to be heard outside my room. I do not understand the meaning of what they discussed. They never talk in this room, I thought. April 16. Someone is talking outside my room. It sounds serious. But it doesn't seem to be about me. Perhaps it's because he doesn't want to disturb me. Even the hospital director has not come to see me much lately. I don't like the director very much, so I am honestly quite happy. April 16.
P.S. Postscriptum.
By some strange chance, I learned a certain person is coming to visit me.
Very weird thing for a young child to write.
April 17. Everyone has been in a rush for some reason since before sunrise this morning. Something about a dead person coming back to life. Does it really happen? It is a frightening story. Because of that, my meal was a little late. The cold soup is disappointing. Suddenly I remembered him. Maybe he's forgotten me, but I definitely remember him. Lately I think of him often. I want to see him. It looks like my visitor is coming in the evening on the day after tomorrow. Before then, just once. April 18. It's finally tomorrow. I will not tell anyone about this. If I tell anyone, they'll probably strap me to my bed. Before they arrive, a friend that can share my feelings. The only one. I wonder if she will realize this. Tonight, I will go to bed early. April 19. I must get out of here. For the first time in a while, I've worn my favorite pendant. Does it look good on me? I'll write about the results here tomorrow. April 20. Oh, the last page is blank. I place the diary under my arm and prepare to leave the room. However, My eyes once again returned to the picture frame that the diary had been placed next to. She was all alone. But I have Cheryl. Here on the picture is appealing to me for something. In the painful silence, I could feel a spiritual message. After wavering, I removed the picture from the frame and slid it into my pocket. And then I left the room. Alyssa. Just who is she? And why was her picture on display in the deep basement of the hospital? The deep basement. And where was that strange feeling of a life that I sensed in the room coming from? I'm unable to figure any of it out. And so I'm irritated. I head for the examination room on the first floor.
Like really irritated. At one point, one of the nurses says, could you help me? He goes, no, fuck off!
All the mysteries of the hospital are surely prepared in that room. Believing so, I race up the stairs while having difficulty breathing. When I open the door to the examination room, I feel the presence of a person and stop moving. Inside the room is dark. Someone is here. Who is it?
I believe it's Lisa, right? So I'll slowly approach her and
Roughly Lisa time.
open fire. There you go.
She wasn't approaching.
Whoa! Jumped on my neck, should have shot her.
Once the woman realized that I was a human, she ran towards me and threw her arms around me like a child would. Finally, someone else who's okay. After mumbling these words in a tearful voice, she held me more tightly. Who are you? My name's Lisa Garland. What's yours? Harry Mason. After we exchanged our simple introductions, I sat in a chair, and she sat on the bed so that we were facing each other. The woman that called herself Lisa had blonde hair and an intelligent look to her.
I like to think that every time Harry says his name, it's like, "Oh, me, I'm Harry Mason," and he kind of waits a bit.
It's like he's playing his trump card.
It's
Pregnant silence, waiting for the applause.
It's like,
Whoa.
my name's Harry Mason. Harry Mason, you may have read one of my books. No? Okay, well, okay.
That explains it. Maybe she might know something. At the moment I was about to speak, the woman begins talking. Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. Her voice did not feel like it was coming from her body, and was accompanied by a strange reverberation. It's awful. So you don't know anything either. Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of bad dream. As I slip my words, I have a feeling that even my own words are not coming from my body. Yeah, a living nightmare. Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old? I'm Cheryl, in a voice that Lisa would not hear. A 7-year-old girl? What? She's your daughter? Nah, I just like to... Damn it.
No, I'm looking for random girls.
Yes, a 7-year-old girl. I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. Why are there no speech marks this time? I'm sorry. That's alright. It was just as I expected, but I continue asking questions without showing any my disappointment. Do you know anything about all this weird stuff in the basement? No, why? Is there something down there? You don't know? Don't you work here? We're under strict orders never to enter the basement storeroom. After changing the subject to the hospital basement, I began to notice that my thoughts were becoming muddy. So I really don't know. what did you say was down there? Well, it's... I try as I hard can to remember the pitiful sight of the room in the basement. However, I'm trying to trace my memory back to then. That ringing which had gone a while returned to my ears. Here's a diary. This probably explained better. It sounded like the bells of the church run throughout my head. Damn, my head! You alright there, Harry?
It did happen, yeah.
What's wrong, Harry? Harry, let me help you. Harry!
Oh, back to the light world.
After a while, I noticed that my body is freezing cold. It's as if I'm dead. But I'm clearly conscious. Where is Lisa? I was definitely talking to her in this examination room. I no longer feel the evil presence that I felt in this room. No, in this entire hospital, up until just before. From the window, soft light is pouring into the room. Was I dreaming? As I slowly get up, I hear the sound of a door opening. I instantly look towards the source of the sound. The creepy woman I met at the church was standing there with an expressionless look on her face. What do you think of my tie?
There it is, look, the tie. She's wearing it.
You were too late. It's you. Yes, Dahlia Gillespie's the name.
She likes to repeat her name a lot.
Holcomb's the game. Tell me everything you know. What's going on? Darkness! She responded before I was even done speaking. The town is being devoured by darkness. The woman continues while maintaining a devout look. Strength must overcome petty desire. Childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come. What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this. Believe the evidence of your eyes. She adjusts the tie. So I should believe the evidence of my eyes? I understand. I'm in this situation. I can only believe. Could at least use colored text or something.
Yeah.
But I've seen with my own eyes. The other church in this town. That is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town? So that's what I saw in the schoolyard. What does it mean? 'Tis the mark of Samael! Don't let it be completed. Hey, wait!
Boom! She disappeared.
Yeah, why do people keep running away? Dahlia Gillespie. She places an oddly shaped key on the examination table with a tap, spins round, heads to the door, and then opens it. I open the door that she closed to roll out into the hospital corridor. But she is nowhere to be seen. The other church. But if I exclude the church I already visited, I don't see anything that looks like a church on the map. I slowly open the phone book attached to the payphone in the corridor. In there, a mark is present to guide me. It's next to the phone numbers for an antique shop in the northeast area of the shopping district.
Okay.
The door next to the antique shop is ominously open.
He's already there. Okay. She just went there.
The open door connects to a staircase leading down to the basement. At the end of the stairs, there's another door. I insert the key I was carrying and slowly turn it. Clutter. The inside of the shop is small. I take a look around using my flashlight and find that the place is such a mess that it looks almost as if it's been ransacked by a thief. Is something here? At first glance, I don't think that there is anything here that concerns me. However, I did not miss that which was hidden behind a shelf. I move the shelf step by step, and an eerie passage leading to the darkness appears. What's this? Harry! I look back towards a familiar voice. Sybil?
It's Sybil.
Sybil, You should have left for the next town over to call for backup, was there? I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts. What are you doing here? I thought you left town. I saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town are blocked. Cars are completely stopped running. The phones and radios are out too. What about my daughter? She's probably out somewhere. Did you see her? I did see a girl. My heart began to beat faster. Was it Cheryl? I only caught a glimpse of her through the fog. I went after her, but she vanished. I don't know about your daughter, but... And you just let her go? Where was it? On Blackman Road. She was heading towards the lake. Now don't get excited. It wasn't like she ran off exactly. There was no place for her to go. The road had been obliterated. What? So then Cheryl... It was like she was walking on thin air.
Probably sure the air was thin, it was thicker.
An uncomfortable silence occurs between the two of us. What about you? Anything? Yeah. I met this bizarre woman. Her name's Dahlia Gillespie. Do you know her? Dahlia Gillespie? No. And? She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that. Any idea what it means? Darkness devouring the town. Must be on drugs.
That guy's gotta be involved in the
They
local
sell
drug
them to the
racket.
tourists. Before I still can't figure out who's behind it. That was actually up on the random. None of the leads have found out, and the investigation is stalled. Drugs. Sybil's response was far from what I'd imagined, so I shake my head back and forth. What could drug trafficking have to do with all of this? I really don't know. But maybe that's the darkness she was talking about. That's all I can think of. Sybil looked slightly irritated and took a long breath. What about the monsters? And she shifted her gaze to the passage behind the shelf.
You mean the drug fiends? Yeah, it's pretty bad.
What's this? Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there. Let's have a look.
Let's have a look then.
Sybil.
Well, I mean, in the game, I go first, so I'll go first. Wait!
Wait. We don't know what's back there. I'd better check it out first. I'm a cop. I should go. No, I'm going.
I'm a man, though. You're a woman, therefore that trumps your job.
Yep, easy. I said in a rough tone. Alright, I'll cover you from here. Be careful. If anything looks fishy, get back here on the double. Hear that, mister? On the double. Okay. I peer inside the hidden passage. Inside, it looks like an unseen barrier of darkness has been set up, which makes it look like no one should enter. I intuitively sense that it should be dangerous to move into the passage. Is it that kind of passage?
I changed my mind. Sybil, you can go, actually.
I look back at Sybil once more. Damn, I didn't know I was such a coward.
Sybil, go, please.
Can you go?
I'm scared.
Yes? Do you know anything about, well, like some other world? It's like some kind of bad dream? Actually, what she said to him as he turned it round again was...
Lost courage already?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
What are you talking about? I'm not quite sure. I try to make sense of it, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur. Like some kind of hallucination, you know? I have no idea what you're talking about, Harry. Sybil spoke while shaking her head from side to side.
So this indicates that Sybil never visits the Dark World. I hope she doesn't visit the Dark World in her scenario later on.
Oh, I was just wondering. Never mind. Harry, you're tired. Yeah, maybe. Am I tired? Yes, I'm tired. If that is all it is, then that is fine. If my being tired is what caused me to see all the hallucinations up to this point, Cheryl should return to me. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The only thing in this sensation I'm feeling is not that of being tired. Rather, my body feels as if I've been on the floor, sleeping continuously like a human in cold sleep. And I'm feeling the agonizing suffering of not easily being able to escape from that state. Leaving Sybil behind, I step into the passage. I begin walking, carefully taking one step at a time. Stop saying that. Sybil can probably no longer see me from where she is.
I begin to run.
I run it one step at a time. Even though I can see it from where I am. I made my way into the room at the end of the passage. It is small, and the smell of something having been burned is in the air. Once I saw an altar appear in the darkness, I realized that this is the church that Dahlia was talking about. I look around the area. An axe has been displayed on the wall. But nothing else stands out. While shaking my head, I decided to try going back through the passage I came from.
Fine.
And at that moment, a light, bright enough to make me look away, emanates from the altar. Yet Dahlia couldn't have possibly just walked in here and stood there. I think I heard the sound of a giant match being struck, and then two enormous pillars of flame rose from the altar.
Two.
As if a ritual were beginning or something. Even at the distance I'm at, I can feel the heat of those flames. Surprise and heat causing me to fall into a state of barely being conscious. And then I gradually lose myself until I finally end up laying face down on the concrete floor. And the coldness that remained in the floor was drawn away by the heat as my consciousness grew distant. Did I actually say 2 then, or did I invent that?
No, it said 2, you're right. It did say 2, but I'm a bit confused because there's only 1 in the game as well.
Harry, are you okay? Harry? Harry? Where am I? Harry? Lisa? Then I'm in the hospital. Spawned right here. You were having a bad dream.
I'm in the game.
Was I? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay? I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about. Well, if you're sure. Lisa, do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie? Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. But I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since. Well, she says the town is being devoured by the darkness. Do you have any idea what she's talking about? The town, devoured by the darkness? Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion. Weird occult shit. Black magic, that kind of thing. As young people moved away, the people figured they'd been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. Before the resort, there really wasn't anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out. Gotta blame it on something. And a lot of new people came in, and everyone clammed up about it. A cult. Last time I heard anything about it was, gosh, years ago. and several people connected with developing the town died in incidents.
Accident.
People said it was a curse.
Oh, an accident. Shit, that an accident. Not a curse.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'll shut up.
Yeah, please.
Did you say to him?
Shut your fucking hole!
The reverberation of Lisa's "I'll shut up" remained in my ears. I wonder how long I'd been asleep. I found myself in that antique shop again, lying face down in the same position I was in just a short while ago. Was that another dream? Did I pass out again? I don't want to think so, but maybe this is all just going on in my head. I could have had a car accident, and now I'm lying unconscious in a hospital bed. I don't know what's real anymore. Sybil said Cheryl was heading towards the lake. But the road on the lake is blocked. Aren't there any other roads? Lisa would probably know. Although I'm limiting what I can do, I still have one piece of information for finding Cheryl. So it can't just remain here. I energetically stand up, open the door of the antique shop, and rush back into the town. Is it Lieutenant Data that read this story? Because he's not conjuncting any words.
Maybe, yeah.
The town has turned into this nightmarish world. It's as if the danger in this town increases with every second. In order to find Lisa, I turn on the flashlight on my chest and begin to run at full speed.
He's on the run. Oh no. Approaching the 12 mark.
Yes, can you save?
Yes. Save.
Can't lose all our progress.
So-
Good thing there's multiple slots. Actually,
Yeah, there you go. So it's there. You can see it there. Okay. Yeah. So I like the quite like the kind of like quiz of quizzing us on what we did in the game. I quite like that.
We're assuming that that's what it's doing anyway.
Well, we're picking what we did, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Whether or not picking a wrong choice will cause a circuitous route or some problem, I don't know.
Yeah, well, similarly, I mean, everything. I feel like everything we've picked right now has been very bang on what we actually did in the game. The official way the game rolled out.
Yes, we're more or less on the beat at the minute.
Yeah.
Next time on Game-Geki, we try to reenact the Kaufman scenario.
Yeah, I think I'm wondering how that's going to play out. If the game even allows me to, like, miss it.
Wander to those places.
Maybe at the game. Maybe at one point in the game, we'll just say, "Where should I head to next?" And
Run straight to the pier. Look around a bit.
look around
maybe.
a bit. Yeah. I guess that'll be the choice. But yes, interesting. Very interesting things. On that note, I'll play us out. We'll see everyone for more Silent Hill, the play novel, next time on Game-Geki.
GG.
Is that a car door opening and closing?
It was.